How are you doing? Last year, I established a website to instruct those Japanese who were bad at communicating in English how to speak English. And I feel really safe if you would not indicate why I taught English, even though my English was not even good. But I quit this attempt halfway, even though I had some students left who hoped to keep learning from me. Now, this is not because I lost my confidence to teach someone how to speak English, but because all I taught my students was just cold comfort. After all, learning language is not something that you are taught by someone, but you must do it by yourself to improve your language skill. I can't force anyone to keep studying every day until they get used to it. This is not my problem anyway. So the same is true for anything. There is no secret method that improves your skills in a moment. So nobody should count on someone or learning method too much because of believing those will help you to acquire the skills. So thinking independently, it is obvious that unless you who want to get the skills keep studying very hard every day, the day when you can be fluent in the language you're learning will never come. So ultimately, getting a skill by learning is simple repetition work until you get used to it. So there's no more or less about it. So if you learn the language, you learn the words, you learn the vocabularies, and you learn the grammars, and you use it by reading, listening, and speaking, and writing. That's it, very simple. You have to improve it step by step with this method. So no matter how noble philosophy I talk to my students, fundamental way of learning the language doesn't change anyway. So essentially, what I can do for students through language teaching is just encouraging them to learn the language with my philosophy. So I have no idea to give additional value to students more than this. So everyone is learning the language in the same way, and there are so many reproducible role models in the world in terms of learning the language. So all you can do is just imitate it. So I don't honestly understand why people can do business with language education. This is not the problem of how a teacher teaches student, but this is the problem how you learn the language. So the reason why I quit instructing Japanese how to speak English was that I realized the learning method is just useless stuff, because simply a teacher who were familiar with the learning method thought it was the most effective way to learn before inspecting if this method can work for every single student. So the most important thing, which I think, is how you can keep learning as long as you can without being tired of learning it. This is the most important thing, I believe. And you have no choice, but you have to find a way how you can make the language attract you for yourself by your ideas. This is the fundamental point that you have to realize when you want to learn the language seriously.